Ron, let's talk about the San Diego State and UTSA game, the Frisco Bowl. So we've had some massive line movement in this game. I was just kind of looking as you were talking here a minute ago. San Diego State, 2.5 or 3-point favorite in this game now. I believe UTSA was favored by 2.5 here last week. So we know Sincere McCormick opted out. That was key. And then I saw UTSA's top cornerback as well, Tariq Woolen, is opting out of this game as well. I don't know if I'm missing anything else or if it's just those two guys. Ron, do you know if there's something else as to why this line has moved that much?
I think it may be a combination of San Diego State's had some success in bowl games. We've seen them really dominate a couple of teams here. The McCormick loss, people were slow to process that. There's also a pretty good safety for UTSA who will not play in the first half due to targeting in his previous game. So even though San Diego State's a mediocre pass attack, I would say that generously. Basically, they want to set up the run. So I don't know how it comes into play unless there's broken coverage. There is one San Diego State wide receiver, Matthews, who has really broken through his last 2-3 games. He's actually emerged as a true number one target for them, and they haven't had a number one target in a number of years. So you may see them deviate and try to feature him in the first half.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. That was a good point about the safety being out from the targeting penalty from last game. My question with San Diego State is I think San Diego State's passing attack is almost non-existent. I mean, they're so bad. If you look at the numbers on both their quarterbacks, they've kind of switched back and forth, right? Because they said, well, okay, here's the new quarterback. We're going back to this guy, Jordan Brookshire, Lucas Johnson. According to PFF, as far as all quarterbacks in the country, Jordan Brookshire is 196th in PFF grade, and Lucas Johnson's 211th. You guys can do the math. There's 130 teams, so if they're 196th and 211th, they have some really bad options there at quarterback. Now, the question is UTSA's defense. They haven't played good teams this year. Conference USA has been really bad. I think that's my concern with UTSA is, what kind of strength of schedule they have. 120th, according to Sagarin, San Diego State 80th. Both of these teams are really good at stopping the run. UTSA was 11th in yards per carry allowed. San Diego State 4th. I think both these teams do want to run the football. San Diego State runs on 62% of their plays. UTSA on 57% of their plays. Frank Harris is a big upgrade over either quarterback for San Diego State. The question, though, is first, you got to remember that San Diego State has Areza, the punt weapon. I mean, my gosh, that guy's – I've never seen a punter that's must-see TV before, but I think this guy is it. San Diego State has a big, big weapon there. And UTSA, while they've been good at special teams, is definitely not as good as San Diego State. San Diego State, my concern with them, they don't throw the ball well, and they fumbled the ball 18 times this year. UTSA's coaching staff has really made it clear that they want to go after the football defensively. They forced 25 fumbles this year, which is really impressive. I think we could – I don't know. Do you give a coaching edge for either team on this one, Ron?
I guess when Brady Hoke initially got his second stint at San Diego State, I actually wasn't that high on him. Although he had the familiarity, I knew they'd bring the defense, but I didn't know what he offered to the offense. So I have to say, maybe I undervalued him a little because he's kept the winning ways going. I do not give a coaching edge in this game. I was lucky enough to see, living in the Los Angeles area, I went to Dignity Park, the small little park, and I saw Utah play San Diego State in the triple overtime game. Absolutely incredible game. And I can vouch, I was actually... good seats were available. I was probably, I could hear what the San Diego State punter was saying on the sidelines. I was that close, and I was watching him warm up, and he is something. He is really something. San Diego State was hit by COVID in their title game. So you have to take that with a grain of salt as well. And I've seen San Diego State bring some really strong bowl efforts. I think this game really hinges on the performance of two players, Frank Harris and Greg Bell. Frank Harris is the quarterback for UTSA. He is extremely careful with the ball. He has experience. Like you said, he's the better of the two quarterbacks, or three quarterbacks, depending on who San Diego State plays in this game. And what he does, because McCormick's out, and I think you'll see UTSA go to a more pass-centric game. And maybe San Diego State drives other teams to do that anyway because of their run defense that was long. I was there with Rocky Long and has continued under Brady Hoke. So how careful Frank Harris remains and whether he can exploit a decent but not spectacular San Diego State secondary, but one that has several people in the NFL because they know how to intercept passes. That's one battle line, and how you decipher that will determine whether or not you like that side. And then on the other side, Greg Bell is fully capable of running for over 100 yards at any time, yet I parsed out his games, and in the last 8 games, he's had 125 carries for 470 yards, which is below 4.0, which is not only un-Greg Bell-like, but if that happens, San Diego State's going to be hard-pressed to mount a consistent offense. And then you're going to see their punter on display for NFL purposes all game long. So basically, that's what it boils down to for me is which one of those two people will elevate their team.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So, Ron, if you had to give a lean to the total in this one, I'm curious. I don't know what to do with this total because, in general, I want to bet San Diego State unders. UTSA plays quicker, and they haven't faced a lot of good offensive attacks. Obviously, San Diego State is not a very good offensive attack. 49 is a pretty low total for a bowl game played where it's being played as well, too, with weather not being a factor. So do you have any lean on the total in this game?
I would probably lean to the under, with the caveat being you could see defensive scores or defensive, quick change situations that all of a sudden make a game goes from 36 and you're on Scott Van Pelt's bad beat because you've had a punt block, you've had an interception return for a touchdown or something like that. I tend to balance these things out if I like an under in a game. But I think it's because the defenses will dominate. Then I'll take yes, there'll be a special team touchdown for plus 200 or something like that, or, field flipping kind of thing, because for this game to go over, the defenses are going to have to contribute field position.
Yeah, my lean would be the under as well. I'm a bit nervous about taking under 49, especially we see these early bowl games go over so much. And I'm pretty sure the trend has been in recent seasons. Those early games in bowl season that aren't quite as big a games have gone over the total more, where the later games have been better for unders. I'm going to lean to the under as well, but I'm not sure if I'm going to fire on that one.